Today, we are taking a tour of one of the most incredible, complex, and absolutely vital piece of machinery you own, your liver. And I want you to forget thinking of it as just another organ. We're going to treat it for what it really is, the body's essential, non-stop factory, a biochemical powerhouse that processes every single thing you consume. So here's our tour map. We'll start with why it's the body's unsung hero, then check out its unique blueprint. We'll look at its job as the metabolism engine, its role in detox and defense, and its amazing bile export system. And finally, we'll see what happens when this incredible system starts to fail.
All right, first stop. Let's really get a handle on why the liver is the body's true unsung hero. It's the primary filter, the quality control center, and the main gatekeeper for your entire body.
And to really get a sense of its importance, just think about its size. The liver isn't just a major organ, it is the single largest gland in your body. And that scale, well, it's absolutely necessary for the thousands of biochemical jobs it's doing, even while you're fast asleep. Now this right here, this is the key to its power. Imagine everything you eat and drink. Once it's broken down and absorbed, it doesn't just go everywhere. Nope, it has to take a mandatory trip through the liver first. This means the liver gets first dibs. It processes, sorts, stores, and changes everything before letting it out into your main circulation. So how is this factory even built to handle such a crazy demanding job? Let's head down to the factory floor and take a look at the liver's unique and incredibly efficient blueprint. Okay, get this. The liver's plumbing is totally unique. Unlike pretty much any other organ, it has a dual blood supply. You've got the hepatic artery, bringing in fresh, oxygen-rich blood from the heart, to keep the liver's own cells happy. But the real action comes from the portal vein. That's the one delivering all that nutrient-packed blood right from your gut, ready for processing. And this is the processing line in action. Blood from both pipes mixes together and slowly trickles through this maze of tiny channels called sinusoids. This is not a race, it's a super meticulous filtration process that takes about 8 seconds. And along the way, you have on-site security, these specialized cells called Kupffer cells, just hanging out, grabbing any bacteria or junk. Only after all that cleaning and processing does the blood finally drain out to the rest of the body. But here's the thing, the liver isn't just one big, solid mass. It's way smarter than that. It's more like a massive corporation made up of about 100,000 tiny individual business units. Each one of these is called an acinus, and it basically acts as its own little self-contained processing plant. This whole modular design is what makes the liver so incredibly efficient and so resilient. Okay, now let's see how that amazing structure supports one of the liver's main gigs, managing your body's entire energy portfolio. Think of the liver as your body's energy banker. After you eat a big meal, your blood sugar spikes, right? Well, the liver jumps in, pulls that extra glucose out of the blood, and puts it into savings. Then, a few hours later, between meals, when your blood sugar starts to dip, the liver makes a withdrawal, releasing that glucose back out to make sure your brain and muscles have a steady supply of fuel. That's the glucose buffer function. And it's not just about glucose. The liver is a master chemist for all our fuel types. It can build brand new glucose from scratch if you're fasting, it can burn fat for immediate energy, and it even packages up fats and cholesterol into lipoproteins to ship them around the body. It really is the central command for all of our energy logistics. Now, beyond just managing energy, your liver is your primary line of defense. It's the quality control department that neutralizes toxins, and it's the manufacturing plant for many of the body's most essential proteins. The liver's detox system is this really elegant two-step process. In phase 1, these special enzymes take the first crack at a toxin, changing its chemical structure. But sometimes that actually makes it more reactive. So that's where phase 2 comes in. Another molecule gets attached, which neutralizes substance and, crucially, makes it water-soluble so it can be safely flushed out of the body in bile or urine. At the exact same time, the liver is a non-stop protein factory. It's synthesizing albumin to keep your blood pressure stable. It's creating the clotting factors that stop you from bleeding. And it's making the proteins that transport hormones all over. In fact, the liver makes almost every major protein in your blood, with one big exception, immunoglobulins. Your immune cells handle those. So, with all this filtering and manufacturing, how does the liver get rid of all the waste? And how does it help with digestion? Well, let's look at its super sophisticated export and waste management system, the production of bile. The output here is pretty staggering. Every single day, the liver's assembly lines crank out about half a liter, that's roughly a pint, of this complex, greenish-yellow fluid. You can think of it as part powerful digestive soap, part essential garbage truck.
So where does that distinct color come from? It's actually from recycled blood. It's amazing. When old red blood cells are taken out of service, their breakdown creates this yellow waste product called bilirubin. The liver snags this toxic pigment from the blood, makes it water-soluble, and then dumps it into the bile. So bilirubin is literally what gives bile its color. And this is where the liver's little partner, the gallbladder, comes into play. Bile straight from the liver is about 97% water, but the gallbladder's job is to act like a storage tank and just absorb a lot of that water. This makes the bile super concentrated and way more potent for when you finally need it to digest a fatty meal. Okay, we've seen how incredible this factory is when everything is running smoothly. But to truly appreciate just how important it is, let's take a look at what happens when there's a major system failure.
It's a question you might have wondered about. This really noticeable symptom, called jaundice, is one of the most direct and, frankly, visible signs that the liver's whole waste processing system is breaking down. So jaundice happens when the liver just can't properly process and get rid of that yellow pigment, bilirubin, that we just talked about. Instead of being flushed out in the bile, it backs up into the bloodstream and gets deposited in the skin and eyes, which causes that characteristic yellow color. And a failure can happen at any point on this biological assembly line. Maybe the body is just producing way too much bilirubin for even a healthy liver to handle. Or maybe the liver cells can't grab it from the blood, or they can't process it correctly. Or maybe the plumbing is just blocked and the processed bile simply has no way to get out. Another really devastating sign of severe liver disease is something called ascites. When the liver gets scarred and hardened, like in cirrhosis, blood can't flow through it easily anymore. The pressure starts to back up in that big portal vein, forcing liters and liters of fluid to leak out into the abdomen. It's a very physical sign that the entire circulatory blueprint of the organ has just broken down. From managing your energy supply to detoxifying waste, from building essential proteins to helping you digest your food, the liver is your silent, tireless partner in health. It never clocks out. It never takes a vacation. Seeing its complexity and its absolutely vital role, it really is an organ worthy of our deep appreciation and, most importantly, our care.